Hi YouTube, it's Mike with Kane Autograph, doing something completely different today. Now most of the time I'm showing you my through the mail autograph returns. This time I'm going to talk about a recent road trip I took, and I had a goal with this road trip. We went to the Minnesota Card Show and I had one goal in mind. I wanted to see Dan Gladden, and I've always admired him as a player. He won the World Series with the Twins twice. Real gritty. He's a radio announcer for him now, but I went with something special in mind. I had a photo from the 1991 World Series, and this is one of the most iconic moments in Twin history. And I already had Greg Olson sign this for me. And I've been trying to get Dan Gladden to sign this picture for me too. And a couple private signings he had, I tried to get him to autograph it, but the answer was always the same. He doesn't sign that photo. Well, I knew that he did because I've seen it out there, and I could understand why maybe he didn't want to because it's ended up on eBay, but I thought this would just be a great part of my collection. So my goal was if I could get face to face with him, maybe I would have a chance to explain what a collector I am and talk him into signing it. So the first signer of the day was current Minnesota Twin Luke Keeschel. He was a second round pick in the 2023 draft out of Arizona State. He's quickly becoming one of the organization's most exciting prospects. Brought along a baseball. I was able to get his autograph, which is a great way to kick off the show and kind of set the tone for the day. Next up, there's a long break before Dan Gladden was scheduled to sign. So cruising through the show, I came across this Jeff Reed rated rookies card in the bargain bin for just $1. The only reason it was priced so low is because it had a smudge on it. I couldn't pass it up. I've been trying to get Jeff to sign this card for me for a long time, and for whatever reason, Jeff has quit signing Minnesota Twins cards. He'll sign the Cincinnati Reds cards, he'll sign other things, but if you send him a Twins card, he'll sign you a Reds card back. So he does autograph through the mail, but he just won't sign a Twins card. So this is a great addition to my collection. So after a long break, it was time. We got in line for Dan Gladden. So with my cameraman in tow, Mark, I started out with a photo of Dan and Chris Atterbury, his radio partner. And Dan asked me questions about where did you get this photo? I wonder where it was taken. Kind of I thought get him signing. Here we go. Here's the one I really wanted signed. So he was asking me where did I get this photo from? Was it in spring training? And I explained, and I know Chris because he used to be the announcer for the Sioux Falls Canaries, and I got him to sign that photo for me. So he did ask if he could inscribe it to me, which I'm all right with. So here's the first photo, the one with Chris Atterbury, his radio partner. He signed that, and it looks great. Here's the money one. This is the whole reason for the trip. So Greg Olson had previously signed it for me, and Mr. Ladd to Mike, play hard, slide hard, and then he autographed it for me. So no discussion on whether he would really sign it or if he wouldn't. He just signed it for me, and I'm really happy with it. When Mr. Dan Gladden was finished signing, Vikings legend Tommy Kramer took the table. I picked up an 8x10 for him to autograph. It turned out really nice. I'm glad that I got that added to my collection. And also another Minnesota quarterback was there, Dante Culpepper. So the big crowd was there for Dante Culpepper, long line, and one of the things I noticed about Culpepper is he was just super nice to everybody who walked through that line. And I know these guys are getting paid to do this, but sometimes you don't always see the guys be super nice. Dante was a nice guy and treated everybody with a lot of respect. So that was the end of the Minnesota Card Show, and we had some great autographs, but our day wasn't over yet. Next, we ran over to the St. Paul Saints game. At the St. Paul Saints game, cameraman Mark used his connections to get us out onto the field, which was really cool. So Mark knows one of the people who works for the St. Paul Saints, Matt, and Matt was kind enough to take us out in the field and let's take a picture. We also got a picture in the dugout. And then I was lucky enough I got to be introduced to Toby Gardenhire, and I had this card that his dad had already signed when he was managing for the Detroit Tigers, and Toby autographed the card for us and just treated us really great. It was just a great day, and I walked away with a lot of autographs and just great memories, and it was a lot of fun. Tell me what you think. Did we do all right? What's your thoughts on that Dan Gladden photo where he's crashing into Greg Olson from the one of the greatest World Series ever? Thanks for watching. Bye.